Good afternoon, I'm Belinda De Lasheras with Hunter News. It seems the community's finally getting some answers from the Royal Commission into child sexual abuse in the Catholic Church, with 2 information sessions underway in Newcastle today. Residents and victims will have the chance to hear about the Church's response to the Commission, steps being taken in the healing process, and be given the opportunity to raise their own questions. Chief Executive of the Church's Truth, Justice and Healing Council, Francis Sullivan, says everyone's welcome to come and tell their story.
Most people do not tell anybody about what happened to them, and they live lives of silent misery. It's terribly important that people can have an opportunity to tell that story, to make sure that they have proper support. We would encourage people to come at the diocesan offices.
The Baird government is promising to spend $28 million sprucing up several schools in the Hunter and on the Central Coast if it's re-elected next month. The money will be shared between 14 high schools, including $1.5 million for Merewether High, to enhance its entrance and improve the look of classrooms. Education Minister Adrian Piccoli says the funding will provide more than just a makeover.
Appearances are important, but obviously improving classrooms, designing them in a more modern way is very important to learning. And at the end of the day, what we want are better student results across all of our schools. High schools missed out under the BER to a large degree. Now we're redressing that.
But Charlestown MP Jodie Harrison says today's announcement is little more than window dressing.
This announcement's actually all style and no substance. Having previously cut $1.7 billion from the education budget in New South Wales, including $800 million from TAFE, the $1.7 billion cut from the education budget has resulted in our children not receiving the kind of education that they deserve.
It's looking more likely Newcastle residents could be in for a 50% increase to home rates over the next 5 years to help the city avoid bankruptcy by 2020. It's feared without the increase, Newcastle could be forced to ditch its pools, museum and footpaths. Council signed off on a $500 annual increase last night. Meanwhile, the Independent Pricing and Regulatory Tribunal will make its decision in May. A war of words has emerged within Lake Macquarie Council over the threat of sea level rise. It comes after Councillor Barry Johnston was forced to leave Monday's meeting when a fellow member had a notice of motion for proposed risk measures blocked. Barry Johnston says it's unfortunate but uncommon behaviour.
I believe that Councillor Pauling should have had the right to speak as to why it was urgent. That's the whole crux of it. He wasn't allowed to speak to say why it was urgent. Councillor Coughlin gazumped him, and it's something that has never happened before. We've always showed protocols.
Employees at a Tomago steel manufacturer are waiting for their separation certificates following a shop closure this week. Martin site workers arrived at the Old Punt Road factory on Monday only to be sent home shortly after. Staff had been aware of declining production and potential equipment sales at the business, but were allegedly informed the company would survive just days before its doors were locked. Martin site employed about 20 people who are now unable to register as unemployed until they receive documents from management. Now with sport, Reese Wicks.
Newcastle Jets are anxiously awaiting the signature of Serbian import Enver Elvodic ahead of Saturday's F3 derby clash with the Mariners. The 30-year-old's expected to ink a short-term deal with the club, imminently pending international transfer clearance. An OK will free him up to join the Jets' right wing as an urgent replacement for the suspended Andrew Hoole. While rookie Alan Welsh will get his own chance, the likely fill-in for suspended Ben Kantarowski in defence. Dwindling players' support is being blamed for culling the Port Stephens Sharks from the Newcastle Rugby League. The club was forced to withdraw from the competition yesterday, marking an end to 25 years of top division in the area. The Sharks had registered around 40 players for first grade, reserves, open age and under 19s, but needed at least double the amount to stay viable. And it's a big day in cricket with New South Wales facing WA in the Sheffield Shield at Newcastle's #1 sports ground. That's sport, I'm Reese Wicks.
2 NURFM News Time is 12:10.